Hey everybody, it's your favorite goofy gamer. I'm not gonna say Irish because I'm not technically Irish. I'm American, but I do an Irish accent, so kind of it was like a sarcastic joke when I came up with that. But if any of my older fans or newer ones, for that matter, who are just discovering my content, if people are actually still looking at it, if you're wondering why I haven't posted for a while, I'm not in a good financial situation to do that, so that's why my videos have been going up. I don't have any ideas, I don't have a computer to edit, my Elgato is probably missing some pieces. Who is all that is? I don't know. Pretty sure it's me. But I also wanted to kind of let you guys know about that, why I haven't been making videos, but I wanted to take this opportunity to make a video like this, because this is a video I can make. It doesn't have to be perfect, because it's an informational video. And I'm going to get straight to the point and let you know why it's hard for me to get to that point. I have Asperger's, or an autism spectrum thing, whatever, but Asperger's. And my name is Kyle. Yeah, you can make the South Park reference in the comments and make the joke. I've heard it 1,000 times. Asperger's this, blah, blah, blah. But it's not exactly spelled the way it sounds. But so yeah, I have Asperger's. That means, for the most part, the best way I can explain it and simplify it, and I've also been watching videos lately. Aspy World, by the way, check out that channel, Aspy World, great channel. And someone else, I can't think of what their channel is at this point in time, but I commented on one of her videos. If you happen to find it, make sure to let people know to subscribe to her, because I thought her video was really awesome, and we just so happened to watch Aspy World too, so I thought that was kind of weird. But so let me get to the symptoms and all that. But basically, it means, like, for me, I can never stop thinking, so non-stop thinking, basically. Emotions are 10 times the average person. Maybe not that much, but our emotions are pretty, they're there. We just may not show it as much, I know that. And social cues are really hard for me to pick up, so like I can't, it's hard for me to read facial cues or like social cues, and hard for me to read the motivation of others, and sarcasm is difficult for me to pick up on. Just social interaction, complex especially, is really difficult, because I don't know what to focus on. Like, for example, I don't know any other Aspies out there. I'm sure you guys are like hearing me talk and you're like, oh my gosh, dude, I have the same thing going on. Maybe not exactly like that, but I feel you so much. It's like looking in a mirror. But I'm way more gorgeous than this guy on the camera. Yeah, I think you're way more attractive than I am, homie. We all agree on that. Now, back to the topic. I got distracted again. I also have ADHD and OCD. So, yeah, it's not just one thing. My example, when it comes to the social cues things, on top of the OCD and ADHD, the main thing being the Asperger's, um, my friends like to play music when we're chilling, you know, chilling. But anyway, so, and no, I'm not, on drugs. My nose is just really stuffy because of the weather. But anyway, so I'll be hanging out with my friends in the living room, and there's usually a couple of people there, and they have music playing. Well, most of the time I can't pick up on everything they're saying. I can pick up on the majority, I think, personally. I find out that I do miss some parts of conversations. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm very passionate about music. So since they like to listen to music while we're talking to kind of like set the vibe, I focus more on the music than the actual people in the room. And then I just kind of zone out, and people are like, though, if they're like, distracted from the whole conversation and they're not a part of it and they're kind of zoning out too, they'll like notice me. I'll be like, "Are you okay? Like, are you sad?" I'm like, "No, I'm just zoned out." And that's what I think. Most people can't pick up on Asperger's syndrome until like you've hung out with that individual person for long enough to pick up on it. Because as Aspies, I've noticed this is a very common trait. Correct me if I'm wrong, but most of us feel like we're outsiders. We don't fit in, and we're just putting on a mask 24/7 to blend in with all you normal people. And that's pretty accurate, honestly. And it's just really difficult for us to. I th- the reason I bring that up is that's why it's so hard for you to notice it, is because we are masking it. But I want people to be aware of Asperger's syndrome, and hopefully we can be aware of anybody's issues that they have and mental illness. Um, just let's let people be more comfortable in in their skin. Our biggest issue right now is not advancing technology or how much more money we can make. Nothing like that. If we're going to progress as humanity or progress our planet, society, whatever you want to call it, the whole shebang. If we want to progress planet Earth and humanity as a whole, we need to focus on our culture because literally we will bend over backwards and do very unpleasant things on a corner for money because we need to survive. And that may be funny to some people, but seriously, if you don't have money and you're starving or you're on the streets, unless you have the money to pay the bills for a already expensive apartment and or house, you're going to be homeless, you're going to starve, and you're going to die because you didn't have money for it. Whoops. That's pretty bad. That kind of sucks. So just let's be more accepting of people. Let's let people be comfortable in their own skin. And the more comfortable we are as humans, personally to me, the more confident and comfortable with ourselves we would be, which would give way to a brighter future, better technology, better education, better is it political? Is it politics that rules the world? Just better civilization as a whole. We would just like what's the need for countries? First of all, what's the need for religions? We don't need religions. If anything, we just need to believe in goodness, good spirit, or an almighty good spirited being, whatever it be. There is a good and there is an evil, and there's a gray line. We all know that. There's also the Holy Trinity. So, that was off topic. I was gonna try and make something cool about that, but I'm gonna give up on that. But good, bad, gray. We know that exists, right? There's no either one. You have to walk the line. So the more you practice on being on the good side, the more good you'll be. Um, so I'm trying to find my place here. I apologize. Basically, let's just get our heads out of our asses. We all need to work together. Humans, get your heads out of your asses. We need to work together if we're going to progress at all with anything, technology, education, you name it. We need to figure out up here before we figure out here. Because that's how we started out as kids. We absorbed everything into this brain so that we could use it in the world around us. And I think we're being held back. And I hope that maybe this little thing talking about Asperger syndrome. Um, so many people nowadays are very depressed and unsure of themselves in this world, and they're not happy with who they are. If we can change that and we can help people grow and use their weaknesses as their strengths, we'll be one step closer to having a better civilization. That was the humanity word I was looking for. It wasn't politics. It was civilization. Wow. Anyway, let's be a better civilization, people. Be more aware of Asperger's syndrome. Try not to ask them about it unless they bring it up, because if they're not talking about it, they probably don't want to. But thinking is very difficult for us. I mean, thinking is non-stop for us, so it's hard to concentrate. Social cues are very difficult for us to understand, so you have to kind of be patient with us if we're not looking you in the eyes or we don't understand when you're being like, hey, you coming along? Because we were probably just thinking that maybe you're popping your neck. Literally, you could be like, hey, come on, bro. And I'll be like, man, I sure hope he got that crick in his neck. like that. But that literally happens. I kid you not. But yeah. And so social cues and the emotions. Emotions motivate a lot of people's actions. So really be sensitive to someone with Asperger syndrome or autism spectrum syndrome, whatever you want to call it. Just be sensitive to people like that, especially bipolar people. You know, we have a difficult time controlling our emotions. It may be easy for you, but it's near impossible for us to calm down. Once you're pissed, you kind of just stay there because it's hard for it to go away. It just loops and loops and loops and loops and loops until it drives you literally insane. So let's just be considerate. Let's have a better humanity, civilization. Let's just love each other, people. Come on. I think you're all beautiful people, and I love every single thing about you. That is good. As long as you are kind. And I hope you guys have an excellent day. Thank you for listening to me rant. I know it's painful, but I really appreciate you guys. And you give my life meaning. So thank you. And love you guys.